What's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? D2 fan, what's good, man? Listen, it's another episode of the Rebuttal Show right here via Off Script YouTube. Look, we got a show for y'all tonight. Hopefully the weather holds up for me here. But listen, it's a lot going on across the SIAC. It was a rough week. Wasn't as bad as I thought, right? Um, CIAA still dominating the conference. Um, FCS schools did what they needed to do, did what was expected of them to do. But this week, for a lot of teams, it's conference play. So we got a lot to get into. I got a lot of guests. I'm really excited because when I started talking about the SIAC about 4 years ago on Twitter, it was like it was nobody talking about it, right? It was nobody talking about the SIAC. The CIAA had their space. Of course, the SWAC always had their space. You know, on the old site, I can't think of the site name now. You know, like they talked a little SIAC, but it wasn't a whole lot. And so when I started talking about the SIAC, I built the Twitter space up. I never forget the first space I had, probably the first 2 or 3 spaces I had. It was like 1 or 2 people on there. Then it slowly started growing, slowly started reaching out. So it's not the biggest platform. Yeah, that's matter of fact, let me pin it. That's exactly the one that I'm talking about. So it was just one of those things, you know. And so I realized when I first started, I rubbed some people the wrong way. But you know, when you're young in the game, you just hop out there. But I got some young voices tonight, and that's one of the things that I wanted to make sure that when I start talking about it, when I start seeing these other guys that I'm gonna bring up talking about the sport, I meant they do a great job. And so I just always want to be that one to like advocate and push these other guys that's talking, because I think all point of views are important. And I think it can help grow the conference because we have a good conference. We got a lot of good student athletes, and we just have to grow it out, right? So yeah. Now I ain't gonna address the other thing right now. So the first person I'm gonna bring up, man, is my dog. Is my dog, the Hornet Slayer himself, Mr. Klein, people.
Hey, how everybody doing? I hope everybody's having a great evening.
Let me move so they can check you out. All right, the next person that we finna bring to the stage is a guy, man, look. This guy's the homecoming crasher himself. He's the man that made my Hennessy taste nasty last November. He's the man that got me on all these shows and folks was talking bad about your boy. We got none other than Mr. Russell himself.
How's everybody doing today?
And we got the guy that's covering the SIAC and other small ball better than anybody. I think he the best in the business. We gonna bring. Now I gotta make sure I'm saying that correctly. Is it Ja? Is it Jay?
Nah, it's Ja. You said it right, man. It's a pleasure
Okay.
to be here, man.
I know, man. I appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all. So listen, these 3 men, 2 currently, 2 former quarterbacks in the conference. Josh Sports does it all. And I just wanted to give them opportunity to just come and just say their piece, just, you know, speak out what's going on. Either one of y'all can start it off.
I just want to say I'm very salty about the weekend. Very salty.
I'm sure, dog. I wanted to make that game, but I didn't. I did.
It was crazy. It was crazy. Alabama State had they fans sitting on our sideline talking to them the whole game. They was even out there talking trash to me, and I don't want to play no more.
Yikes. Mr. Russell, man, your Cats went down there and, they tried to run it back, but, it's something about the Miami boys that just getting the best of them Cats down there, though.
Yeah, I think that's 3 years in a row they didn't beat us. It's tough, but, I mean, it's out of conference, so, I don't think we're going to stress it too much. We're going Alcorn this week. That's like a I don't even know how to say. My heart is torn both sides, But I got to rock with EWU this weekend. We just gonna see. I truly I genuinely this might be a little biased right now. Then they got a shot, man. I mean, the way the defense play and Alcorn offense hasn't looked too up to par yet, right? And the way the defense play, if we made a quarterback change in the third quarter in Miami against Florida Memorial, if he can play the way he ended the game, I don't think it'll be a blowout of any sort. I think it'll be a good game this weekend. So I'm looking forward to it.
Boys said they're gonna put 60 on y'all. I can't remember what podcast I was on, but them boys said they're gonna put 60. And I don't know when the last time they scored 60. They might can't even spell 60 down there, but
I truly love everything about this institution at Alcorn State. I got my undergrad degree that I played. I won 2 SWAC championships, but I would never go against them except this week, right? This is the only way I'm gonna go against them. I don't know. I haven't seen it. The offense is. I know Coach T. I know him personally. Hell of a coach, but I don't know how. Offensively, I just haven't seen it yet. I haven't seen a quarterback yet spin it for them. They played 3 so far in the first 2 games, and of course it was UAB and Vanderbilt. But you still would see it, right? I haven't seen that yet. They have the best tight end in the business right now. HBC football. They have the best tight end in the business. He could go outside and play receiver. He could play running back. He could block. He could do it all. But other than that, I don't think they have really many big weapons, right? So I don't see 60. They should win, right? But I think we're going to go down there and I think we're going to compete. I'm going to be in the building, and I was going to wear half Alcorn, half EWU, but I said forget that. I'm coming in all EWU, and I'm excited to see how this game going to play out.
Yeah, I'm sure Dr. Faison will like that. John, what's your thoughts about the weekend, man?
It's a really, really rough week around the SIAC. 0-9 in conference, out of conference play. I mean, and 2 teams specifically I want to comment on was Miles and Albany State. Albany State offense is rolling. I can't deny that. But this is probably one of the few times I've seen them without a defense that is up to par. Because there's no reason Albany's scoring 40 points and still losing games like that, in my opinion. Of course, Shaw is tough for sure, but come on now. And then Miles, statistically, Miles got the best defense in the conference at the moment. Best pass defense for sure, but teams been running it. West Alabama, they didn't dominate on the ground, but once they figured out they couldn't throw the ball, that's what they went to and ended up coming out on top. Alabama State ran over us, unfortunately. But I feel like once Miles gets their offense rolling, I think they're going to coast through the season for sure. And I'm ready to see Central State play some in-conference games. They unfortunately had to face a top 4 team in the country. So see where that happened. But, things looking up.
Definitely. Look, and we're going to touch on all that in a second. So the first thing I want to talk about, you talked about Albany State. Man, the drama been real big. On the other D2 show on HBCU Game Day, I was watching, and that's what threw me late over here because I was over there listening to the head coach of Shaw talk about this little incident that they had going on. So apparently, before the game, the co-defensive coordinator and the defensive back coach for Albany State went over to Shaw's team while they were warming up and basically told them there's no need for them to try to throw the ball. They're not going to be able to throw the ball on them. They were about to lose. So Shaw kind of responded. They win the game, and after the game, allegedly Quentin Gray did not shake Shaw's head coach hand after the game, and so he took to the internet and he's talked about it quite a bit. So I'm gonna play a little video in case y'all hadn't heard. Bro been putting it on my guy pretty bad. Wrong video. I'm gonna get a producer one day. And maybe I didn't even put it up here. I don't even think that I put it. But anyway, the video basically, bro was just saying that it was disrespectful, and when they get to doing, it was up. And I extended a invitation to Coach Gray for him to come on, tell his side of the story. Cause I mean, this not the first time that Coach Gray has had like a little incident. I think when he first got in the door, he offered that kid Stokes. I don't know if y'all remember the quarterback that Florida signed. Then he had the video came out of him rapping. And he said the N-word, and Florida pulled his scholarship. So he offered him the alumni for Albany State cut up, got the AD fired. He had to come out and apologize about it, and now here we go, with another incident. Now, how I knew things is rough down there Monday morning, the AD came out with a statement. Now, I'm talking about this is a man that led Albany State to a SIAC championship game his first season. The AD got to come out after a loss and basically throw her support behind him because the Albany State faithful, they may or may not just have never been on board with Coach Gray. But to Ja's point, I've never seen Albany State scoring 40 points and they don't win. If another team scores 40 points on Albany State, it was a blowout. But to ask that offense to score 40 points and the defense comes up short in that game, I think that's uncharted territory for Albany State. And what their defense name? The Dirty Blue defense. Any of y'all check that game out?
Can I say one thing real fast?
Yeah.
Coach Gray, I love Coach Gray. Coach Gray is the reason why I went to Edward Waters. Coach Gray was my quarterback coach at Alcorn for a season. I love Coach Gray. I love everything he's about. Coach Gray, I don't like all this going on with Coach Gray right now. I don't like all the the commentary, everything, because Coach Gray is a great coach, a hell of a coach. I mean, Albany State is a great program, but you don't see a lot of coaches come in first year and go to a championship game, right? So, and they lost a lot of players to the portal. A lot of guys left when the coach left in 22 and Coach Gray got there. So, I don't like all the the everything going on right now talking down him, because I mean he's one heck of a coach. He's a competitor, right? So I think this is his first college head coaching job. So of course everything isn't going to go rocky and all, and he's still learning as well. I mean he's not the oldest coach in the game, but I mean if I just feel like that situation could have went different. Like how Shaw's head coach had to have those comments or whatever. You could say that about how we all saw how they lost, right? Like at the end of the game, the quarterback, it was like 4th and long, and the quarterback threw it up. And, of course, Coach Gray probably had emotions, but I don't think everything had to be taken the way it was taken, right? So I'm riding with Coach Gray. I'm always riding with Coach Gray. I appreciate him. I think he is one of the realest coaches I've ever been around. So it was a heck of a game to watch as a fan. As a coach, probably not so much because, they gave up 40 points, right? And they lost. I mean, they scored 40 and lost. I mean, it was kind of crazy, but once again, it's not the SIAC play yet. They're still learning. I still think Albany State is going to be a top 3 team in the conference. So I guess we're going to have to just see how things play out. But I'm riding with Coach Gray no matter what I had to make sure I show my support for a second there.
Definitely. I mean, to be honest with you, that's why I invited him on the show. see, it's kind of hard out here in these streets, right? In these D2 streets, because either you have a show that's too geared towards the SWAC, or you have a show that's too geared towards the CIAA, and sometimes you don't get that balance with the SIAC a lot of times. So I mean, the door is open for him. If not, we'll try to get the AD, because just knowing his temperament, his personality, I think it's just more to the story than that. You can't convince me that it's not more to that than what's been said already out there. This is a man that has come in and competed. Because even on the show tonight, the coach Rashad was saying, I bet they would have never done that to Valdosta State. You know, it was just a lot that I'm saying, yeah, I hear you. I want to hear Coach Gray's side of the story before these narratives just kind of run out there. Let me see if I can share for the people who didn't see the ending of that game, man. That ending was wild. And you're right, that fourth down play was insane. And yeah, they just came up on the short end. The offense is definitely rolling. I'm playing the wrong thing. Click the wrong one.
Two minutes left in the contest here from the
his first real bad throw of the second half, in my opinion. Well, a couple bad throws, but that's his first real bad one.
It was not sure he was looking for, but
and they quarterback last season. When you look at Shaw's not a real bad team.
Belcher,
you know, the guy went down.
They don't mind throwing those inside routes at
all. After they played Benedict, it beat him like 52-0.
So Christian Peters looking for the play.
I was really impressed.
Remember, no timeouts, 23 seconds left in the contest.
This is a tough situation for your kicker if you're trying to run one out there.
Let me speed it up. That's not the throw. Oh, yes, it is.
So 5 wide for Peters. He's going to throw, flushed out the pocket, get some pressure, still has plenty of time. Doesn't see a receiver open late. Under duress, still on his feet, throws it. And it is caught for the touchdown. That is Belcher once again with the phenomenal catch.
Wow.
And Christian Peters.
Man, look. That was a heck of a way to lose a game. Albany State had just went down and scored to take the lead. And my God, boy just made a heck of a football play.
That's tough.
And you can't take that away from them. But I'm just saying them Albany State fans, they not used to that down there, dog. They not used to that. And Albany State is one. You know, when we get to talking about blue bloods in the conference. I'm always saying this, and you'll hear me talk about this a lot. When I was at Tuskegee and during my time, of course, Edward Waters wasn't in the conference. Miles was not they were not a thought. Albany, it was two teams really that ran this conference. It was Tuskegee and Albany State. The other schools that are playing competitive football now, they did not exist. Every year, when they made the SIAC championship game, until Miles got roughing, it was just Tuskegee and Albany State, and that's the two big dogs. And every now and again, Fort Valley, and Fort Valley is considered the third blue blood program in the conference. But then, you know, Miles comes. Miles basically dethrones Tuskegee and semi-dethrones Albany State. So you see these programs, and I think that for Quentin Gray, I think these next couple of games are going to be real important for him. You talking about two programs that with a base that they don't understand the work that Albany State, that Edward Waters has put in. They don't understand the work that the Clark Atlanta is putting in, right? And so they don't like losing. I'm just saying, Russell, you talking about you like Gray, but you haven't put the man on. You helped put that man where he at by going there beating him. You should have let him win last season, dog.
If I'm being real, I have to do what's best for me in that instance. You know what I'm saying? But I remember last year, I think they started off 0-2 as well. Then they won a few in a row. They lost to Allen, and then they lost to us, and everybody really counted them out, right? Then they went to Miles and beat them to sleep. Sorry, KP, sorry. But all I'm saying is don't count them out. I remember vividly because we went around last season. We went around. We was hot. I think we was on went a month straight without losing. We were super hot. And we was looking at the conference, seeing how we could finish second behind Benedict. And we were like, man, what we got? We wasn't even thinking about Allen. That's what we messed up at. But we were like, man, if Albany beat Miles and then Albany beat Fort Valley, then we straight. All we got to do is beat Allen. And everything happened right, except we lost to Allen. So all I'm saying is nobody thought Albany would beat Miles. I didn't think Albany would beat Miles. And I didn't think Albany would beat Fort Valley. So all I'm saying is I trust Coach Gray. He's 0-2, but he started off 0-2 last year. They played Valdosta. I mean, one of the best teams in the nation. And Shaw's quarterback is the truth. I love watching good quarterback play on the HBC level, especially D2, because I feel like I don't want to say it's rare, but it's, what I'm saying, if you have a good quarterback, your team is usually good. So I want to shout out the quarterback for Shaw, the quarterback for Allen. We all know David Wright can sling it. KD at Fort Valley. They have some good quarterbacks in HBCU football and D2 right now. So I want to shout those guys out, and I think Coach Gray and Albany would be just fine.
He had to bring up that Albany situation.
All right, so look, we got to pause. We got the man himself in. I shot him a DM. The man came on. See, this is what I like. He came on. Coach Gray is on. We got two guests, but I got to stop, pause. I always have an open door policy for coaches on here. We talked about it. I know you, Russell, Jaron, you spoke for his character, and I just want to bring him up, give him an opportunity to speak. None other than Coach Gray of the Albany State Golden Rams. How you doing, Coach?
I'm doing well, man. How you doing?
Man, I can't complain. Listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. I had to write you. This is probably one of the few SIAC centered spaces. And with all the narratives and videos I've seen out there, I felt like I had to do my due diligence to bring you on and allow you to clear your character. And I want you to know, Russell has spoke highly of you already, and just, recount this narrative that is being put out about you not shaking a coach's hand.
Well, first and foremost, man, I really appreciate the space that you provide for us to come on and speak on our programs, and shouting out the Division II HBCUs and the SIAC and even the CIAA. And then one time for Jaron, man, who's a upstanding young man who I've had the pleasure of coaching and has gone on to do some awesome things while he was at Alcorn and then at Edward Waters. But there's a lot, obviously, that goes into what went down on Saturday. You talk about a coach that says my coaches were talking to his offensive coordinator or something like that before the game. I wasn't privy to that conversation. And then he goes on to talk about me not shaking his hand after the game, which actually did happen. And it wasn't because I didn't want to shake his hand. But after the game, there was a situation where his team stormed across the field, and I was trying to make sure that my team stayed under control and didn't get out of control to the point, because I did have a couple of young men who were upset, obviously, after the type of game that it was. There was a lot of competitive banter during the game. So there was, some emotions during the game, or right there at the end towards once the clock hit 0. And I definitely had to keep my team under control. And while I was trying to keep my team under control, his team continued to approach our guys on our sidelines, talking in such a way that would be upsetting to anybody who just lost the game. But at the end of the day, it is all competitive. But at the end of the day, I did, again, have to continue to control my team and keep my team under control. Now, while keeping my team under control, we had to separate the two teams. And while separating the two teams, if it got lost in translation that I didn't shake his hand, then, I apologize for that. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. But, like every other coach, he has my phone number. And if we want to talk about professionalism, he could have definitely called my phone and we could have talked about it like two men versus going on all these media outlets and talking about it through those things.
Definitely. And when you say that, you made me think about a couple of times where games can get out of hand. And that question has been asked a lot lately, right? That forcing teams to shake hands in some of those contentious games. We watched the throw that the quarterback for Shaw made to lose the game in that heartbreaking type fashion. It seems like this year, and I think us in the media space, we have to always be careful about what we say too, because clearly social media, everybody can see it. I felt like in all the SIAC CIAA team matchups this year, like they were contentious. I mean, even in the Tuskegee John C. Smith game, middle of the game, it was, I feel like the refs had allowed a couple of things to just go on a little bit too far, and it could have ended up really bad. And so
Right.
it's like at the end of the day, you said that we're competitive. It's a competitive sport. Everybody want to compete. And I definitely feel you when you say like he could have picked up the phone and called you. And so what I'm hearing is this was just a miscommunication.
And I think I ain't mean to cut you off, and I think you're right, because at the end of the day, there was a lot of things that were said from players throughout the game where the refs were, coach, make sure you control your players, this, that, and the other. And I'm sure he got the same thing from the refs as well. And it got to a point where at one point, one of my players had spit dripping from his face mask from one of his players. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, when it comes down to, players controlling themselves and coaches being able to control themselves and what they say and how they say it, I just hope that, when it comes down to it from a professional standpoint, to me, it was a better way to handle it than to get on and say, I hope he's listening, this, that, and the, oh yeah, I was listening. I sure was listening. And he's right. We do got to come to Durham next year. And at the end of the day, he won the game and that's what it is. But at the end of the day, when you talk about a team that traditionally have been champions before and won games all over the place, as in Albany State has, you're talking about, and it's just a competitive. I mean, you're talking about a team that maybe not used to winning, and the way that they acted after the game, you win graciously, and you lose graciously. You know what I mean? So all I was trying to do was make sure that my team stayed under control. Because at the beginning of the game, I never said this, and it really has nothing to do with it. But, when you go and you stomp on somebody's logo in the middle of the field, especially when it's a brand new field, that's a problem. I didn't say anything about that. You didn't hear me come out and say anything about that. But at the end of the day, it's all competitive, and it is what it is when it comes down to D2 HBCU football. But, he's a great coach. He coached his team to a win. Congratulations to him. And like he said, we'll see him next year.
Most definitely, Coach. And I appreciate you coming on addressing that. Russell, you got anything you want to ask Coach or bring up?
I just want to say good luck the rest of the season, Coach. I'm rocking with you, Coach Gray.
All day, man. Jaron, good to see you, man, and hopefully you keeping things in the road, brother. But this whole thing, I think, is definitely being taken out of context, to be honest. Because again, all I was trying to do was make sure that my team stayed under control, and we didn't have any ESPN type moments where we're embarrassing the HBCU space. You know what I mean? My wife and my mother and all those good stuff was up in the stands in the end zone where their locker room was, but nobody talks about the disrespectful way that their team was talking to the grown-ups and things like that in the stands. But at the end of the day, like you said, we got to see each other again. I love doing what I do. I know he loves doing what he does. And at the end of the day, we're just two coaches trying to coach our teams to be better. Most importantly, as people, and then after that, we want to be the best football players that we can possibly be. But I do appreciate the space, man. And at the end of the day, if he took it personal that I didn't shake his hand, I apologize, Coach, that you took it personal that I didn't shake your hand after our game. I'll be sure to shake your hand if I ever see you again somewhere else. So we'll be on the same page. All right. So there you have it. There's my apology, buddy. And if you need to talk to me, you got my number. You can reach out to me and we can settle it that way. But if not, I'll see you next time.
Definitely appreciate that, Coach. Talk about your team for a minute. I mean, your offense is rolling. Your offense scores 40 points. I watched that fourth quarter. I was in and out. That your game was on the same time that I was rooting for my Golden Tigers down there at Grambling. We started making a run towards the end of the game, so I was trying to back and forth on my phone. But I looked at the stat sheet. You guys got it rolling. You faced a Valdosta State team that kind of looks playoff ready. First game of the season, and then you come and you play a tough Shaw team. Then next up, but y'all go to New York for Central State.
Mm-hmm. Yep. We pride ourselves really in playing teams that are really going to give us an opportunity to see where we stand, especially early on, because once you get into SIAC play, man, you want to make sure you know who you are and what your strong points are and the things that you got to work on. The best thing about these first 2 weeks is this week we had a bye week to be able to work on everything that we needed to work on from the prior 2 weeks. Valdosta posed a great challenge for us, the number 7 team in the country. We knew we were going to have to go there and play our best game. And, some of the mistakes that we made didn't allow us to do that. We felt like we did some good things on, especially offensively. And then there were some things that we did pretty good on defense, but we also knew that there were some things that we needed to work on. And when it came down to it, we put our best foot forward in that game, and it didn't come out obviously the way we wanted to, but we did learn from it. Our kids learned from it, and the attitudes that we had after that loss was tremendous. And we came in this past week fired up, ready to go. From an offensive standpoint, we struggled a little bit there in the first half to put the points on the board, but we went and regrouped at halftime and put 33 points on the board in the second half. Isaiah Knowles, our quarterback, who was SIAC Player of the Week, played a very, very good football game. Had a couple turnovers, but at the end of the day, those turnovers didn't necessarily cost us the game. But defensively, we struggled a little bit. We did some good things there in the first half in terms of stopping the offense. We did some good things there at the beginning of the second half, but we sort of kind of lost ourselves a little bit there at the end of the game. We had the opportunity to win the game. We had a couple interceptions that we didn't hold on to that could have closed the game out for us. Had a missed time on the interception. There at that last throw, we had a corner right there with the receiver who caught the ball. We just didn't make the play. So, for us, as I preach to our team each and every day, man, when we get the opportunity to make plays, we got to be able to make the plays that are there for us to make. If you're doing your 111, there's going to be some point. There's going to be a point in that game where something's going to happen where you're going to be able to make a play and help us win a football game. So, with that, we've had a great couple of days of practice this past week, this week here, and we're looking forward to moving forward and getting in the SIAC play. But we always say we got a 24-hour rule when it comes to Shaw or the game prior. And we actually turned the page on Shaw on Sunday at 6 p.m. But, with all this stuff that's coming up with not shaking hands and all that good stuff, I felt like I needed to come on and make sure that I cleared my name in terms of, my character, because that's not who I am. I respect the coaching realm. My dad did this for over 40 years, and he's the reason that I do it, and I would never disrespect him in that way. So I definitely wouldn't disrespect the art of coaching in such a way that that's being portrayed. So we're looking forward to, man, just moving forward and getting ourselves on track and getting ourselves back to the SIAC championship.
Definitely, Coach. So if none of these guys have anything else for you, I'm going to let you go. I appreciate you for your time. And y'all don't have Tuskegee on the schedule, so you don't have an enemy in me, not a single Saturday. So
That's right. And I appreciate not having no enemies, man. Apparently I got one. So, but at the end of the day, he ain't in the conference, so it don't really matter.
But yeah, best of luck to you the rest of the season. Anybody else?
Hey, man, I appreciate you.
I appreciate you, Coach.
Okay, man. Appreciate it, man. And again, appreciate the space that you provide for us, man, and keep doing what you do.
Appreciate you. All right. You heard from the man himself. There's always two sides to every story. Now we want to move on. I've had my guests waiting all night. Man, we got the new kid on the block. See if I can pin him a little bit larger. We got the new kid on the block, the new quarterback at Allen that almost went and did the unthinkable for some people. I've seen this game long enough to know that those former team versus former coaches always turn out a little bit different than how we normally expect them. I'm going to take some of y'all off the stage for a second. I'm going to bring y'all back up in just a second. What's up, man?
What's going on? How everybody doing tonight?
Man, listen, it's all you. Appreciate the delay, man. Stuff be popping up. Was in the conference, and we had to give Coach Gray a chance to clear his name. But I want to make sure that I don't botch your name up. So now tell me your name.
My name's Jamir Dismukes.
Okay, Jamir Dismukes. All right, man. So you get SIAC Newcomer of the Week. You go 21 for 28 for 263, 2 touchdowns at Allen. Kind of tell me your story, how you ended up Allen, and how y'all approached this game.
So I left. So last year I was at Wheeling University in West Virginia, and when I hit the portal, this was the main school reaching out to me. They was showing me the most love, so I came down. Columbia, it's a nice place to be, and I just like the offense. I like the coaching staff. I like the potential of everything, so I just locked it in. And going into the game, there's a lot of hype and all that, but we stayed focused. I feel like we showed a lot. It's a lot more coming, though, for sure.
Definitely. I think for a lot of people, they were not expecting to see Allen in the state that they saw it in. I'm pretty sure you've heard all week about Teddy Keaton. He was a former head coach of Allen, revived that program, kind of built it up from the ground up. He left. He goes to Clark Atlanta. You're following what some would say the best quarterback in the SIAC currently. And you go there and you have a day. And so I'm trying to watch the stream, dog, because I was mad that they did not stream that game. I was mad that game was not streamed where people could really see it, because if the conference knew that this was a former coach playing his former team. Okay, we've had this happen a couple times in the conference, and every time those games are normally epic. So I had no reason to believe that this game this time was not going to be. And knowing Coach Pearl is a Tuskegee grad, so that's a fellow Tuskegee gentleman.
Yeah.
So he has also coached with Keaton before. So Bullware, who's the defensive coordinator, he's well known for his days at Winston-Salem. So I'm just like, look, this game should be streamed. And so I found out that on that last series, that last play, that you were not the one that threw that last pass. And I was like, man. So just walk us through that last series when y'all got the ball back after Clark went up.
So yeah, we got the ball back. It wasn't really no pressure. We had 53 seconds, but we got down there. I'll say we was at maybe like, I know we passed the 50, maybe like the 35, 30 maybe. And I had scrambled out the pocket. I believe it was like 11 or 12 seconds left. And yeah, it was a horse collar. And I got a horse collar and I started cramping. And then Mike came in for the last play. And every last play just don't go as planned.
Definitely. So how do you feel about being? You got your first taste of SIAC conference play. Mm-hmm. You breaking it in and coming from the school that you're coming from. What's your thoughts on SIAC play?
I feel like SIAC play is played well. Way more aggressive than I thought. Definitely competitive because just like you said, a lot of teams are revamped, and I feel like that's one thing that a lot of people don't pay attention to, like the way we play, and for us to got like our whole team is a whole new team, new coaching staff, and just the potential everything. I feel like that first game was good for us.
That's what's up. So listen, the guys that's on here, you got Josh Sports. He's gonna cover you a lot. Like, okay, bro, the best in the business. You got Russell. Russell was the quarterback at Waters last year. He led them. He knocked off a couple of big dogs in the conference last year, even my Golden Tigers. And I'm learning to like bro missed the homecoming. They home. And then we got Klein Peter. He was the QB1 at Miles last year. They knocked off FCS. Really technically knocked off two FCS teams last season. Had a really good season. So them guys on here, and I don't know if they got any questions for you or not.
Oh no, I got something for them.
What's going on, y'all?
What's going on, man? I hope you're doing well. I wanted to ask you, man.
Same for you.
Who is your favorite weapon on the offense so far? Because I know you have all SIAC running back Bo Harrington. Mm-hmm. You got great receiver in Montrell White and Caleb Cummins. So I just wanted to see who's your favorite weapon on the offense.
I wouldn't say I got a favorite, but I feel like all of us got a great connection. Like, we put in a lot of work at practice. You know what I'm saying? That's how Wizard to come out so hot. And, the connection was strong, scramble drill. Like, I'm locked in with the guys like that. So I wouldn't even say, like, I still feel like we of course, we didn't do enough to win, but we ain't even showed, I'd say, even half of what's coming.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Who do y'all have? Y'all have Livingstone next, right?
Livingstone next, yep, Saturday at 6.
So listen, I ain't gonna put no pressure on you, dog. Mm-hmm. But I'm gonna put a little pressure on you.
Talk to me.
The CIAA got us down 0-9. All the rest of the teams in this conference done failed to the CIAA. Now the CIAA don't normally show this type of dominance over the SIAC. So y'all our last hope, dog.
We the last ones?
Y'all the last hope, dog. Y'all got to go up there to that blue field.
Yeah.
And get a win. So you play on the red field this time. Now you're going to play.
It's lit. It's lit, right?
Bro, so I'm gonna need y'all to go up there. I'm gonna need you to put these numbers up, but I'm gonna need you to multiply. I'm gonna need you to get 4 TDs. Need you to go for about 35 out of 38 this time. And go and bring that SIAC win back. And then you know what? Y'all gonna be my favorite team, dog. If y'all beat this CIAA team, y'all gonna be my favorite team in the conference this year.
For sure. I like pressure, so you feel me? I'm gonna make sure I stand on that for you.
I got you. So anything, tell the people how they can follow you, and what to look forward to the rest of the season.
All right, I mainly be on Instagram. My Instagram name is allaboutruns9. My Twitter name is just my name, Jamir Dismukes 3. And just coming up for the rest of the season, just expect a lot of explosiveness. I feel like the defense really is a little more gelled than the offense right now, but our chemistry, like, we all bringing it together. So just know it's gonna be a fun season. It's gonna be a lot of eyes that get open real soon. Just know that.
Man, appreciate it. Appreciate you taking time to come on. I'm gonna have Coach Pearl on real soon, but I'm gonna be on the lookout. You put the conference on notice. I'm telling you, like, after I saw the numbers and a couple of passes that I was able to make out on the live, I'm gonna definitely be checking you out throughout the season. Stay healthy and keep grinding, bro.
Yes, sir. Most definitely. I appreciate you bringing me on. I appreciate the questions. I appreciate everybody. Feel me? Have a good night.
You too. All right. What probably Klein, Peter, and Ja wanted to get into. The game that messed up my picks. The game that messed up my picks for the week. I don't know why. I normally don't pick Miles. Now let me tell you, so it's hard for me to get into this Tuskegee Miles rivalry. I'm just gonna be honest with y'all. It's hard because I still see Miles as being the team that we want to play for homecoming. But the team that we play on for homecoming to get a win. I'll never forget the first time, and I think the first time that Miles beat us badly, I was confused. I was ready for somebody to get fired. And they was like, no. You must have seen them. So, I knew that Coach Ruffin was a good coach when he left Tuskegee to go over there. But I still wasn't ready to just give in to this. So now the one time that I'm rooting for Miles, dog, like I'm Go Bears, Golden Bears. I almost put on a Miles shirt. Y'all let me down.
And I was at that game too, on the sideline.
I went out on a limb last season and said y'all were gonna make it to the SIAC championship game. I get let down.
I still feel like you should have been picked for that game.
Now I get let down. Maybe I can't pick Miles against schools that start with an A. Maybe that's the problem.
See, during the game, it's like defense stood on business. It's just like offense just couldn't find no consistency whatsoever. Like we threw a lot of passes. We tried to hold the line of scrimmage as best as we could. We couldn't get the run game really going. A lot of 3-and-outs, turnovers. That plays a factor in it. Penalties. We had a lot of dumb penalties. It was a situation Miles had recovered a fumble in Alabama State territory, and player gets up and throw the ball at the punter. And so 15-yard penalty, moved them back. Another drive, they was moving the ball, fumbled in the red zone. Then it was a situation, another situation. Cam Ivory made a pass to the left side of the field, and hit the fingertips of the receiver for a touchdown, and he couldn't make the catch. And so it was just a lot of up and downs. Like Miles shot themselves in the foot a lot. But if they can find some consistency in the offense, they still have a chance to run the SIAC. It's just they just gotta like I said, defense gonna always stand on business for Miles. We just gotta find a little bit of consistency in the offense. That's all.
I think I was a little shocked that that the running game couldn't get going. I was not expecting Bama State to win up front against the offensive line. I don't. The defensive line, in my opinion, for Alabama State was better last season than it is this season. So I really was not expecting that level, of dominance up front. So I think that's the one thing that shocked me. I think what made me feel a little bit better about the game because of last week to see what West Alabama goes up and what they did to Tuskegee. I was like, okay, so now putting 2 and 2 together, looking at how the defense, came back that second half and really locked State down. I mean, because the statistics. Why can't I talk tonight? They were not that far off from Bama State, and it's just one of those games, dog, that it didn't go the Golden Bears' way.
Just couldn't find the consistency. I mean, like I said, like it was some drives, Miles was making plays, they was getting first downs, either penalty or turnover or miscommunication. It was one play Miles had. I think they ran like a mesh concept and had Jay Andrews down the field for a touchdown, but Alabama State ended up blitzing an extra guy. A guy came off the edge and hit the quarterback, and that actually caused the turnover. So it was just a bunch of unlucky events going on, a whole lot of emotions going on everywhere, and so it just was a rough one.
And I think, go ahead, Joe.
Sorry. I was gonna say we can't overlook DeQuan Kinsey, the former CAU running back. He killed Miles last year too. But over the last 2 games, he averaged 150 on the ground against Miles. So I guess he's just kryptonite for the Miles defense.
Yeah, and that's one of the things across the board. So in another space, in my Sunday space on Twitter, one of the points that I was making was that when you look at the SIAC, like a lot of talent, is sitting on FCS rosters, whether it's in HBCU FCS schools or it's just other FCS schools in general. And a lot of them guys had days. I look at Jock Jones at Norfolk. You look at, like you said, Kinsey at CAU, and even Meeks. Now he didn't get a catch last week, but week before that, he got 3 catches in the Louisville game. So we know we got talent in this conference, and to see Kinsey, in that black and gold and the way he was slashing, he was running with a purpose. And to be honest with you, I think Miles took Bama State's best shot. I don't think Bama State has much to give more than what they were able to give Saturday. And the fact that the game was what it was and they couldn't score again in the second half, I think that's a testament to just how strong Miles is. And I do think y'all going to be a problem in the conference. Now, I told Klein Peter last week, if Miles bring their tails down to Tuskegee on our 100th homecoming and try to do what Russell and them did last week, we got to fight, dog. It ain't nothing else to do but fight, because we can't lose that game. That's probably going to be our first game on the lights. It's just setting up bad. If I'm the AD, I'm changing our homecoming. I'm changing our homecoming to the game before that. I'm not allowing Miles to come down here from what I've seen. Now, don't get me wrong, and we can get into that too. I feel like Tuskegee made me feel a little bit better. Tuskegee's one of them things too with like that consistency on offense. I think I semi agree with a guy on this show. If y'all don't follow him, Flicks, he and I was talking, and he was saying on Twitter that he feels like Tuskegee just wanted to get out of that Grambling game unhurt, and I definitely can see that. So, in my opinion, from how I'm looking at the conference, I think Central State is strong defensively. We're gonna see how they fare against Albany State before I make an assumption about them. But I think defensively they're really strong. It might be a Tuskegee Miles homecoming, and then we turn around the next week and meet in Atlanta, and that's all I want to see. I want to see. I feel like that's probably going to be the best game. That's probably going to be the most attended game if we get them two in there. So I think now I have switched. At first, at the beginning of the season, I was saying Miles, Fort Valley is probably going to make it to the championship game. My Golden Tigers made me out of a believer. Although we're 0-2, they made me out of a believer, and I'm just looking forward to that we get to see Miles versus Tuskegee best out of two.
I would like to say for the record, last week I did tell you Tuskegee was going to score 20 points against Graham.
Yeah, you did. You did. I will say that. I'm going to give you that.
I think, like you said, with Tuskegee, I think it's more of a consistency thing too. Like, y'all guys play from beginning to end. It's just, y'all playing against an FCS school. You don't want to get too deep off into that and have guys injured. But I think Tuskegee will be a good team too. One of those underrated teams that actually do pretty good this year.
Definitely. I think the schedule is kind of favorable to us, and I know Russell probably has something to say about that with his Edward Waters, but he ain't calling the shot. He ain't the signal caller at Edward Waters this year, and we can definitely tell that. This Central State, I think Josh said something about Central State earlier. I'm looking forward to them getting into conference play too. Right, you talk about that Grand Valley State team. Them boys can run the ball. They do some stuff running the ball that I think will be a tough out for a lot of people. Ending last season, Central State won that 4-game winning streak. They got the FCS win last year against Mississippi Valley. They opened up, they play that Patriot League team close, Morehouse State. I really felt like they should have won that game. I really want them to win that game. They really should have been 1-1 right now. But they go up to Albany State. They play them in New York. And I think if that's not considered the game of the week, to be honest with you, like that's a big time game. I think we're gonna see where both of those programs kind of fall in that game. Because I think Central State is their strength is their defense. And Albany State's strength is their offense. And I can't believe I'm saying that about Albany State, a team that a Golden Ram team that's dependent on their offense to win games. Yeah, that's real new for me. But I think that's gonna be a good one.
For sure. I'm hoping Kendall Boney in the office and get it rolling. I talked to them at media day. They were really coming in. They were really excited about what they did. Like you said, at the end of the season, on the 4-game winning streak to close out, it seemed like the offense finally got it rolling. And honestly, like you said, defense is already strong. So you got Mike White, probably the most underrated pass rusher in HBCU football for sure. And I really think they still gonna have a really good season. I just hope they get it together offensively. That's all they need.
Yeah, so that's Albany State's next game, but Central State, they next game is Savannah State, and I look at that Savannah State game versus Southern, kind of ran out of gas, but first 2 quarters they kind of held their own. The offense just really didn't get up for Savannah State for that game. They had the one broken play that Adams took to the house on them. Other than that that offense just didn't get going. And to me, I feel like they do have some weapons out on the perimeter that they could get the ball to, but I think Southern was just a little bit too much for them guys to handle. So that'll be another good one. Then with Savannah State. So his next 4 matchups, man, they tough. None of them walk in the parks for them. Savannah State, Albany State, Miles, and Clark, Atlanta. I'm gonna go on record and say here now, if he go 0-4 in those, yeah, it might be. It might, that seat might get a little warm up there.
I think they can take 2.
Which one? Tell me which 2 you think they can get. Because I got them taking 3, to be honest with you.
You got them taking 3? Ooh.
I got them taking 3.
Me personally, I think they take Savannah State.
Okay.
Secondly, oh man. Honestly, I wouldn't put it past them being Albany, but their offense has to show up for that game because the defense is gonna do what it does. But you like you said, defense wins championship, offense wins games, and we gotta win this game. So
yeah, I'm with you. I got them getting Savannah State. I got them getting Albany State. Now that can change. If they lose Savannah State, they're not getting none of these.
Yeah, completely agree.
Yeah. So they got to win the Savannah State game. I think they can get Albany State. I'm not ready to have them because I don't think that they're going to be that offense is going to be able to handle y'all's defense. I'm still fully impressed with Miles' defense, so I'm not giving them that. And I keep saying this, and Keaton keeps proving me wrong. I'm just not high on Clark Atlanta like everybody else. I don't want to call it fool's gold, but I just feel like that defense is breakable at Clark Atlanta right now. I'm just not there, and I think we saw a defense in Allen that can keep David. To be honest with you, Clark Atlanta is going to go as David Wright goes. And I think Allen kind of showed us that, yeah, Fort Valley just might not be the defense that we thought they would be coming into the season, but they are kind of young in some spots, especially in the secondary. Yeah, dog. If they beat Savannah State, I think they can get Clark. I'm gonna say the Albany State game is a toss-up. So those are my 3 that I'm giving them. I'm giving them Savannah State, Albany State, and Clark Atlanta right now.
I have to interrupt for a second.
Go ahead.
Central, I don't know if I'm tripping or not, but I don't see Central State winning any of these games. I mean, they have a couple players that I really do respect. I played against them a couple years ago, but nah, man, I can't see. I think Savannah State is going to be the team that, how Edward Waters was last year, that nobody really talked about. I think Savannah State, this is the coach's 3rd year now. Quarterback 3rd year, he can't help but get better, right? He's already a hell of an athlete. I know you've seen that touchdown he had against Southern last weekend. They're not going to be Savannah this weekend. They're not going to be Albany next weekend. They're not going to be Miles the week after that. And, I mean, unless, I don't know. I'm still waiting to see Clark as well. They look damn good against Fort Valley, but then they went to play Allen, and I wasn't big on Allen at all. So now, I got to see Clark play again. So I'll leave that one question mark. But I still, if I had to pick, I would pick Clark. So I see them being 0-6 after these next 4 games, if I'm being honest.
Well, Russell, I'm gonna join your choir if they lose to Savannah now, because if you lose to Savannah, you don't have the offense. If you don't have the offensive power to beat Savannah, you don't have the offensive power to beat Albany State and Miles either. But I think the only thing is, like, it's moments that they look really good, right? I'm looking at their first game. They just have these moments, these flashes where they look good. Their defense, dog, is solid. Now, that Grand Valley State game, I throw it to the water, if I'm being honest. It is what it is, dog. Like, from the very first snap, it was just they were outmanned. It was bad. But I think that would probably be the story for 90% of the conference. Playing Grand Valley at Grand Valley in that type of environment up there. But we gonna see. That rationale is there. But 0-6, man, Porter might be on his way back to Warner Robins, Georgia at 0-6. All right. Let's move into your cardiac cats. Edward Waters. I watched Edward Waters in the Morehouse game. Morehouse turned the ball over 8 times, 9 times. I'm looking at Edward Waters, and I'll be honest with you. I expected more out of Edward Waters this season. I don't know what I was expecting, but I didn't expect to see that. They had told me during the all season, "Oh, don't worry, we gonna spin the ball around still." I said, "Okay, I hear you." Coming out of the spring, they told me after the spring game, I talked to the SID after that, and a couple of things that were said. Them boys, we gonna throw the ball around. We still got it. We get the Morehouse, dog, and I'm not convinced at that passing game for Edward Waters right now. I think they can get the running game going, but that it definitely ain't you, cute, as a trigger man this season.
I'll say this: football is not always. You don't have to have. Now, having a good quarterback will really, really catapult you in this conference and all the HBCU football, but you don't have to have that. I truly don't think. I think this past weekend against Florida Memorial and Alcorn this week is going to be those identity games. We're finna see what our real identity is. Florida Memorial, it looked like we're going to be a really good running the ball. So I mean, we have the best receiver in the conference, so it's hard to say we're not going to throw the ball, right? But I think they're just trying to figure it all out. But it hasn't looked pretty yet. But I mean, like I said, they made that quarterback switch last week in the second half, and I mean, he bottomed back. I mean, it was a guy, he was behind me last year. He knows offense, front and back. I think he'll end up being good. The guys that were over him the first week with a transfer guy and a freshman. So I think it's getting the right fit in there. And I know they want to throw the ball, right? But once you find an identity, and if you see that we are, we might got to run the ball 35, 40 times a game. And I think that's okay too, right? So I'm just here to say, just because they haven't had the most success throwing the ball doesn't mean they won't have success offensively. I would say the first 2 games was a bit underwhelming offensively, but man, we got to talk about the defense too, though. That was, I don't want to just say, oh, it's Morehouse, because I mean, it is just Morehouse, but you just don't have that many turnovers. I've never been a part of that before. So when you have all those turnovers, you're like, okay, the defense are clearly forcing turnovers. And, the first game of the season, it's tough. Second game of the season on the road, trying to figure out everything. So this is going to be another game we're trying to figure out our identity. And I'm not going to lie, I really do. I don't know if this is the bias in me, but I look at the schedule, and I think we'll be fine. I mean, we're doing a disservice to ourselves. The first 4 games are on the road, right? Morehouse, Florida Memorial, Alcorn. We go to Benedict next Thursday. So that's no help. But, I think this game right here is going to really give us that last identity before we get back into SIAC play. And at the end of the day, we 1-0 in SIAC right now. So, that's a win.
I'm gonna tell you what my only concern is for Edward Waters right now. To start that game off, running the ball. Florida Memorial is not as big as they're not going to be as big as Alcorn was, and I felt like they had real big problems with Florida Memorial up front, and I just think that that's not going to bode well for them coming into next week. An Alcorn team that basically got beat around. They played UAB first, then they went to Vanderbilt. They're going to come in that game, hungry, but I always go back to this one thing that Jenkins has made me a believer. But they can't get down like that in that game with Alcorn. If they want any shot, they're not gonna be able to get down and win that game.
Well, my thing is with Alcorn, I just have not seen a lick of offense yet. I get it. They played Alabama, Birmingham, and Vanderbilt, but I haven't seen a lick of offense, right? Like I watched FAMU play Miami this past Saturday, and I seen some offense. I'm pretty sure Miami is a better team than Vanderbilt is, and Alabama, Birmingham. Like you could still. Like, I'm not saying go out there and score 25 points, 24 points. No. But you can just see little drives and glimpses against those threes at Vandy or at UAB. I just haven't seen it yet. But I've seen that the defense on Alcorn is, man, they look damn good. But I'm just saying, if it's one of those games where defense, just going toe to toe, bumping and bumping, if we could find ourselves in a 7-14 game, a 3-10 game, I think it's a chance. I agree with you. If we go out there and trying to go down 21-0 in the first quarter, yeah, it's gonna be tough to try to do that because they're big. I mean, Alcorn got that edge. Bailey wearing on 44. He has a real good chance of winning Defensive Player of the Year this year. He's damn good. They got a couple corners that are pretty good. So I mean, Alcorn has a really good defense. And they have the best tight end in HBCU football, in my opinion, in Truck Griffin. But I just, they're rambling quarterbacks around. They played 3 so far. One of them is a redshirt freshman. I think the other one is a transfer from Missouri. But, I've literally watched him throw hitches in the dirt. And the other one is a guy that transferred from Lincoln University in Missouri. The HBCU in that MIAA conference. So another D2 guy. And trust me, I mean, we've seen what D2 guys can do, as in, Klein Peter, myself, David Wright, but he hasn't showed it yet. So I'm just saying, like, a quarterback can really catapult you up, and it can also hold you back, right? So with that being said, I truly do think it's a chance, unless it's not like they're playing against. I've just seen it before. I've seen Lane beat Pine Bluff in 22, right? I've seen Miles beat Bama State, and Lane wasn't even that. Miles was pretty damn good last year, but Lane wasn't that good in 22 when they beat Pine Bluff. So I mean, I've seen it. I've seen it happen. So I don't think it's that far fetched. If they were playing last year's FAMU team was loaded, right? That's a bit different. But this year at Alcorn, I don't think that they have the team that'll just blow them out. I think if I know a lot of them boys at Alcorn still, and if they going in the way they're going in, thinking it's this is that, this is a filler game. I just think they can find themselves in a match early, and as long as EW got a running back, the running game just looks great to me right now. Like the first game, Mango had 15 carries for 100 yards. Second game, 15. Nate Cantrell, I think he at one point he had 5 carries for 50 yards, 49 yards. So running all over the place.
I think we lost, bro. But he come back.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. But yeah, to his point, when we start talking about these FCS D2 games, part of the battle is controlling the clock. Like being able to run the ball is going to work in your favor. I think that's probably what doomed Miles this time. Not being able to run the ball, not being able to control the clock. Because part of the goal is to make sure you keep the offense on the sideline. And that's one of the recipes for success. But, hey, it's one of these things where every year the SIAC school shops one of those SWAT schools. I think we got 2 left. I'm not giving Morehouse a snowball chance in hell to beat Howard. And we got Clark Atlanta, Bethune-Cookman. I think both of those are interesting matchups. You know, if I had to weigh it, I hadn't seen the offense from Bethune-Cookman either, but I've seen the offense from Clark Atlanta. So I think those 2 games could be competitive, at least for the first half. So we'll see. And look, we finna get up out of here. A real, Coach Gray came in, kind of changed our show around. We always wanted to make sure that we give our coaches a chance. If you didn't catch his interview, you need to go back, rewatch it. He addresses some of the narratives that's out there floating around. I'm gonna chop it up, let people kind of hear what he had to say. But we got Clark Atlanta at Florida Memorial next week. I'm gonna go with Clark. This is my first time picking them all season. So what y'all boys think about that one?
I got Clark.
I got Florida Memorial, man.
Russell.
I really
look. Hey, bro,
really
I'm finna write this down because the time I pick, I'm writing this down, bro, because we gonna have to come back and revisit this one. You got Flomo, okay?
Man, Flomo should be in the SIAC. I think it's time. I don't, I'm not too sure. I'm not too educated on how things work, but it's definitely time.
I just got a question. Are you picking Florida Memorial because they give y'all a game, or you genuinely believe this?
No, bro. I'm so. Last year, Florida Memorial in that conference they was in, I think they finished in the upper half of it. Bro, I'm telling you, they're good. They're a team they're gritty. They get a lot of transfers in because they're in Miami. They can get a lot of transfers to come there. We played against them last year. They had a guy that played at Iowa State at linebacker. They're a dang good team. They might not be the most disciplined, which I can see hurting them, but they got athletes running around, and I truly mean this. They have a good quarterback. He was at Edward Waters with me my first year. I like them to win. I seriously think they're going to win on Saturday.
I'll say this about Flomo. They didn't stick out to me when y'all played them last year, but I saw them when they played Grambling last season, and they racked up yards, man. They can move the ball on anybody, to be honest with you. So, and I did say that Clark defense is bendable, but I just think that David Wright, he likes those types of games, and I think we're gonna come out and really have a big game. But that speed, for Flomo, we gonna see. But I ain't picking them to win, dog. But I got you.
I feel like if David Wright comes out and plays consistently and have a clean game, I think they'll pull it off.
Well, Flomo ain't gonna get into no passing match with him. I feel like David Wright, he does his best when he gets into a passing match with a team, right? Like when other teams go out there and trying to throw the ball 40 times like he would, Flomo has a running back, number 9. I can't remember his name. But if y'all watch the game, y'all gonna see on Saturday.
Yeah. He's nice, dog. Man, that's gonna be the thing. It's going to be if Flomo controls and they have methodical types of drives and they just run and they keep on the sideline. I think they're right there, dog. To be honest with you, but I got to go with David Wright now. This might be the one time I pick Clark and they let me down. Then when we come back and we talk about this, you can be able to say that you were right. But I can't pull against Keaton in this game, though.
Yeah, no, I understand.
All right, next up we got Kentucky State and Fort Valley. Fort Valley was off last week. I know them cats licking their wounds. They were stunned by Clark Atlanta. And Kentucky State, yeah. I don't, you know. I don't know what I was expecting from Kentucky State. Well, one, they had two really hard games. They had Virginia Union, which probably looks to me, just right now, Virginia Union looks to be the best Division II, the best HBCU Division II team right now. I think they gave Hampton everything that Hampton could handle, but then Hampton just kind of warmed down that fourth quarter. Yeah, it kind of got rough for them. But I look for Fort Valley to get back in the win column against Kentucky State. I've said I need them boys to get 50.
I got Fort Valley.
I think Fort Valley has the best quarterback in the conference, so I'll bet on him every week, unless they're playing Edward Waters. So I got Fort Valley.
Yeah, okay. So we, unanimous on one. We'll probably all be unanimous on this one too. Howard and Morehouse, cause ain't no way.
Howard, man.
Oh, man. Well, we already know where Russell stands with Edward Waters. I would love for them to get upset, but just for the sake of my numbers, I got to go with Alcorn.
I'm gonna be a little biased, me being the fact that me playing in the SIAC, I gotta roll with the SIAC. Gotta roll with them.
And I got EWU for the win.
Gotta go with Waters.
Okay, so we got 2 Waters, 1 Brave. All right, next we got Allen, and I ain't even asking y'all who y'all think will win, because all y'all got to pull for Allen, because we cannot go 0-9, 0-10 against the CIAA with no Livingstone.
Looking at the stat line from Allen quarterback last week, he played a clean game, and he only had 7 incompletions, 250 plus yards, and 2 touchdowns. I think he can do it again.
Yeah, man. I like the Allen quarterback. I like him a lot. I think they're going to – I don't know how good Livingstone is this year, but I like Allen. SIAC, I got to root for him.
All right, next up we got Lane and Benedict.
Oh. I ain't watched much of Benedict. But I'll pick Benedict.
So I'll say this about Benedict, man. They played Virginia State better than I thought they would play them. And for a team that's completely new, I mean that's a brand new team. Because Benedict is in Orangeburg, South Carolina. That's where the old Benedict is. Okay, they up there with Chennis Beard. But I like what they do. I like how they use Foster, get him on the field as a wide receiver. Lane, I don't know. I don't know what to expect that game. I mean, they couldn't get anything going against Jackson State. But I will say, looking at Jackson State, okay, comparing Jackson State when they played ULM, they played a game that I really thought that Jackson State could have won, beat ULM. ULM goes and they beat the brakes off of UAB, which I saw UAB play Alcorn, and I thought they looked decent. But so maybe that Lane is just Jackson State is just a really good team. But I'm gonna go with Benedict too on that one.
Lane's just one of those teams, they have a high motor. Like, it don't matter like how close or how far off the game is, they're gonna play from beginning to end. Like when we played them last year, we came out scoring on the first 3 drives, and them boys just played from the time the clock started ticking to the time it ended. They gonna play their ass off.
Yeah, I watched Benedict against Virginia State, and I really don't know what to make of them yet, but so I really don't know. I might have to go with Benedict though, because Lane didn't look too bad against Jackson State to me. They couldn't get nothing going offensively, but I mean, it just didn't. They competed, and that's all you want to see when the SIAC schools play against SWAC. So you just want to see them compete, and they did compete. So I think it'll be a good game, but I think I got to go with Benedict.
Yeah. And the last one we got Central State at Savannah State. My man already said Central State going 0-6, so we know where you stand, dog.
I mean, I'm saying this, I mean, I do think they're gonna win. I think Savannah State gonna win, but just off of personal experience, I have to root against Central State just off of a personal vendetta from last year. So,
Yeah, man, I like Savannah. I think their quarterback in year 3, I think he's grown a lot as a player. I watched him from year 1 when we played against them his first year starting, so to say, at Savannah. He was talented then. Kept up with him a little bit. Year 2, I think we was winning all game. They went down the field and scored. And I just seen poise from. We ended up winning the game because we went down the field and scored again. But I seen a lot of poise out of him. I think he's ready to take that leap as, hey, y'all talk about David Wright and y'all talk about KD at Fort Valley. I'm here too. So I like him. I think they're gonna compete in this conference all year. So yeah, I'm nothing against Central State, but yeah, they're going 0-6. So yeah, I'm rocking with Savannah, man.
yeah, because that run he had against Southern was crazy.
Yeah, he's talented, man.
Crazy.
So, I'm gonna have to go with Porter. I'm gonna have to go with Central State because if Savannah State gets by Central State, then that makes me nervous for the next week at the first home game when they come to Tuskegee. We barely got by Savannah State last season, and if Savannah State is able to somehow overcome that defense of Central State and win that game, I get a lot more concerned about that game with Savannah State. So I need Central State to go ahead and dash the dreams and hopes of Savannah State and go ahead and, wound them for the rest of the season for us. And that's why I got to go with Coach Porter. But we going to see, dog. Yeah, man. Appreciate all y'all for coming on the show. Appreciate all the people that watched. We didn't kind of talk about everything. But you know what? Anytime coaches want to come on, and that's just how it is, dog. Like, some pop off. We just make room for them. But we look forward. A lot of teams are off, this week. And a lot of teams are playing that was off last week. So we'll see. My Golden Tigers get the week off. Miles got the week off. So I can be a neutral fan. So I think I'm going to the Fort Valley, Kentucky State game. I ain't completely made up my – oh, no, I can't go. Dog, I'm going to be in Jackson, Mississippi. Forgot. Oh, going to my first Jackson State Southern game. So we're going to see how that go.
You're going to have a good time there. I'll tell you that.
Yes, you will.
That what the folk telling me. I asked. I was like, tell me what I supposed to do. So like, I'm dating a Southern grad, and I was like, look, I gotta be neutral because I be going on these spaces, these SWAC spaces, and the Jackson State people be showing me love. So I can't be walking around in no Southern shirt.
But let me tell you, do they play Southern at Southern?
No, they play them at Jackson State.
They play them at Jackson State.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's we gonna see what's happening.
It's always usually a good game. It's growing up as a Baton Rouge native. Southern versus Jackson State is gonna always. The environment of that game is just exciting and is electrifying, honestly. And I think it's gonna be a great game. I wasn't always the biggest Southern fan, but they do have pretty good games between Jackson State, Alcorn, PV, and Graham as well. So those games that you should see.
Yeah, that's what's up. I'm starting to expand my. Since I'm down here in Baton Rouge now, I'm starting to expand my into some of this SWAC stuff because I have to hear about it 24/7. So I really wish Savannah State would have won, so I wouldn't have to hear the SWAC is better than the SIAC all week. I ain't got time to try to explain the difference in D2 and FCS and all that. I'm just, it is what it is.
Southern, I tell you that.
Yeah, y'all probably would have got them last year. I don't know. They might would have cheated y'all the way Pine Bluff.
Bama State beat them. No, did Bama State beat them? Yeah, Bama State beat them.
Yeah, they did first. Yeah, first game.
And then we ended up beating Bama State. So I think we would have got them last year.
Yeah, definitely. But look, appreciate y'all boys hopping on. We're gonna keep doing it. I'm gonna hire a producer, dog. That's my next move is to hire a producer to make the show run a lot smoother because my time be so tied up. But y'all always welcome on this show to come on talk. If I talk to off script, like even when y'all boys, if y'all see something y'all want to chop it up, or y'all got your own idea for a show, hey, I feel like y'all boys can get on and talk it up, and especially Russell probably gonna ruffle some feathers on some of the stuff he said. That man said Central State going 0-6. I can't wait to chop that clip up. That man said
He definitely has hot take.
they going 0-6, and he said Flomo beating Clark Atlanta. So you already know when Keaton. I don't know if you follow Keaton on social media, dog. He real active. So I know he gonna have something to say about that. So your mention's probably finna be on fire, dog, because I'm gonna chop that up.
All I'm saying is I was just in them shoes last year, so I know I probably would have reacted to it too. But I'm gonna give my honest opinion right now. I don't mean to hurt nobody's feelings. I think Keaton is a hell of a coach over there at Allen. I mean at Clark Atlanta now, but all right, man. Flomo, y'all gonna see, man. I ain't got no sympathy for Central. I seriously mean that about Central State, but y'all gonna see about Flomo. I'm telling you, I'm gonna make sure I hit both of y'all up on Saturday around 4 o'clock Central Time, like I told you so.
Man, make sure you hit my line when that's going on.
I feel it. Look, man, y'all can tell the people where they can follow you at. We're gonna get some acts for y'all in the banners and stuff, so the people can follow, keep up with y'all. And we'll see y'all next week. And y'all tell these guys y'all like them, enjoy them, see if we can get them to come back next week and the week after that, and however many weeks after that they want to come back.
I enjoy talking football with y'all boys.
I enjoyed it too. I really, truly love HBCU football. So whenever I get a chance to talk about it, I will. Y'all, my social media is just my name, Jaron Russell. You can find me anywhere.
My social is on Instagram is at SayKP, and on Twitter is SayKlein.
Until next week, y'all.
All right then, brother.
All right, y'all have a good one.
You too.